One very frequent mistake made by tons of entrepreneurs, tons of salespeople, and just tons of people in general is the mistake of either misunderstanding or ignoring the perspective of others when it comes to the technology and the software and the solutions that they provide. What do I mean by this? Well, it's pretty simple. You, as a person who are dealing with technology all the time, develop a sense of normality with that software and with that technology. I know because I myself have this happen to me. I've had this happen many times where I work so much and around technology so often that literally my vocabulary, my way of thinking, everything about me is enmeshed and intertwined with it. And when I go and I have to deal with a person who doesn't deal with this stuff much, I'm speaking a different language. I'm not understanding their perspective, right? And it's especially true with things like websites where, you're talking to a person, you're like, yeah, that's the header. Yeah, we'll put an image up on the header of the site. We'll get this slider put in there and we'll do parallax over here. Yeah, we'll get a WebM video. We'll make that into an animated background. And yeah, we'll get a bunch of JPEGs and we'll compress them, crunch them down and size them to fit horizontally in here. They're glazing over. They're not understanding anything I'm saying. Nothing. Now, why is this important? It's important because what I have to do and what I've learned through years and years and years of being a trainer here at Rocket Driver and years of dealing with people in technology is that you have to really, really dumb down your thinking. Not dumb it down. I don't mean to say people are stupid because they're not, but they are completely unfamiliar with what you're talking about. And they're not only unfamiliar, they're incapable of making that meteoric leap from not knowing anything to understanding enough to make intelligent decisions. Part of this is why it's so important to be your client's trusted advisor. The other thing is it's important to really simplify stuff. Say, okay, here's what your site is going to look like and show them another example. I like to work with visual aids. Visual aids, nothing beats a pre-built out site for them to look at and say, yeah, that's amazing. That's great. And to walk through it and they'll understand because they'll be able to actually see, hey, the end result of this is going to be fine. And when you give people tasks, right, you work with your client and you need, for example, them to furnish you with images, or you need them to furnish you with text, or you need them to furnish you with anything really. You want to show them visually and say, okay, you see this site here, and show them another example. This is a similar way your content is going to be displayed. So therefore, if you hand me, Moby Dick, 50 pages of text, it's not going to be useful. We're going to have to condense it down, or if you hand me images, make sure those images are high quality. If they're very small and we blow them up, they're going to be blurry. Go through and explain everything from their perspective, taking their perspective into account, not, denigrating them, not making them feel like they're ignorant because, hey, everyone's ignorant. I'm not a surgeon. I'm also not a plumber. I don't tell them what to do, and I don't expect to understand their job 100%. But work with them with their deficits. Another way that perspectives are very important, just extremely in this industry, is the backgrounds that people had in the past, the past experiences that people have had with various services. You should never discount the impact this can have on your business because it can be extreme. There are so many companies pushing scam SEO out there, just pushing in emails, in SMSs, in phone calls, and just relentlessly pushing scam type SEO that so many businesses have been burnt that there's immediate sales resistance there. There's immediate skepticism there. The same thing can be said for web development. So many businesses have been pushed through processes in the past that were absolutely awful. And so many of them have also been scammed by buying online from low-cost developers and, sometimes not even so low cost, that they're skeptical, they're nervous, they're not willing to just make a decision. A lot of the time I've found, and it's a known phenomenon, that the anger and the general hostility that you encounter when trying to sell these services, it's not really hostility rooted in any kind of anger towards you. It's rooted in both lingering resentment over being scammed and the immediate sense of fear that something bad is going to happen. It's fear-based. You see this quite a bit when you're selling services like websites, and you also see it in social media nowadays, because there've been a lot of negative associations forming with businesses and social media. Many businesses have an antagonistic relationship with it, where they were early adopters, they got into social media, and then they got themselves a troll or two, and the reputation's being just shredded by some person or persons with an agenda, or they're doing bad as a business, and because they're doing bad, people are tearing them up online over it. There's lots of reasons. You have to go into this whole arena with the mindset that the people you're going to encounter have very different perspectives, very different past histories, and you need to respect that. You need to understand that so that you can adapt yourself to it. And how should you adapt yourself? Well, do a lot more listening than talking initially. It's very beneficial to ask probing questions and to listen, to gather information. I see salespeople make the mistake of just walking up to a prospect, talking for 2 seconds, not listening to the prospect, and then blasting them with a pitch. That never works. It doesn't work well. The best approach is to go up to them and ask them about their business, get them to open up to you. People like talking about themselves. Generally, they love talking about their businesses. So if you ask the right questions, if you ask them, how are sales going? What was your experience in the past with websites? It's a very pointed question, but, kind of vague. Hey, have you done social media before? What did you do with it? How's it going for you out there? You on any review sites? How's it going? People will open up and start telling you a story. And when you hear that story, then you can go, aha, this is how I need to approach. I need to approach lightly, or I need to approach in this way or that way. Be cognizant of perspectives. That's the most important point, is that if you can keep yourself aware, if you can keep the awareness high, and, you're walking into these situations where, you have all different scenarios. If you're aware of the perspectives that are there and the potential for negativity, potential for hostility, potential for skepticism, potential for fear, you're not going to walk into any mines in that minefield. You're going to be able to give the presentation you want, because you're going to be able to have the foreknowledge of what, lies ahead. Anyhow, that's going to conclude this video. If you'd like to see more like it, subscribe to our channel. Go ahead and click that like button and hit the bell below so you get an email dropped to you when we put a new vid up. Talk to you in the next video.